Isn't that just your interpretation? I've heard this many, many times concerning the Bible. Basically, this idea that there are hundreds of ways out there to interpret the Bible, and no one can really say with confidence what it actually means. Well, the first thing I do when someone sort of says this is I play a little bit of a game. I say to them, okay, so what you're saying is we can know exactly what the Bible means. And very quickly they'll say, oh, no, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's so many different ways no one can say what it really means. And again, I'll say, okay, so what you're saying to me is that we can have great confidence in knowing exactly what the Bible means. And again, they'll say, no, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that we can't know, that there's so many different ways. We just can't be sure of it. And so the point there is, even though it's a bit of a game, is to highlight the point that when I speak or when someone else speaks, we do it with the understanding that the person hearing us will actually know what we mean. So when I'm speaking to you right now, or if I write something, we do that with confidence that people can actually understand the concepts that we're using and derive meaning from what we've said. And so the same goes for the Bible. We can understand the concepts, we can understand the intention of the author, and we can understand what it means. Now, I'll admit that this isn't always easy, especially at a first glance, and some things are really difficult to understand, and maybe we won't know the meaning exactly. But there are some ways to get around that and actually come closer to understanding the meaning of things. The first would be gathering clarity. You know, if I talk about the bark of the trees, I'm not referring to the woofing sound that the trees make. No, I'm referring to the coating, the outer coating of the tree's bark. And so that is basically a concept that the words are pointing to. But where you have something like that and you might miss what someone means, that's called equivocation. And so we need to do the hard work of just clarifying what it is that we mean. And so we can do that when we come to the Bible as well. We can delve in and understand what the words mean in the original language and original context, and that helps us get clarity about what's going on. The next thing we can do to get better clarity and find the meaning of the text is to have a consistent method of interpretation. And so when we come to the Bible, we want to come with something like a historical grammatical method of interpretation, which is understanding that there was a historical context that it was written into at a certain time to a certain people in a certain place, and also that there was a specific language that was used, with all of its intricacies and all the richness that comes with that as well. And we can learn those languages and come closer and be better and better at understanding them as Bible interpreters do. So with a historical grammatical method of interpretation, we can really understand what's going on and what the original intent of the author was. Another really big consideration with understanding and interpreting the Bible is to understand the genre that you're dealing with. The Bible isn't just one kind of thing, it's 66 different books all collected together in one binding known as the Bible, and it has many different types of literature. It has creation literature, it has historical genealogies, it has biographies, poetic literature, apocalyptic literature, prophetic literature, all these different things. And so we have to acknowledge the kind of writing it is that we're dealing with as we come to interpret it. There's, for instance, somewhere, I think it's in the Psalms, that talks about the trees clapping their hands. Well, we don't at all believe that literally trees suddenly have hands and start clapping away. No, but we understand that there is a metaphor being used pointing to celebration. Or something in the New Testament, Jesus being described as the door. Well, we don't believe that he was wooden and swung on hinges, not at all. But we understand the meaning behind it, that he is a way to something more. So again, I think we need to understand that having a good method of interpretation, gaining clarity, and acknowledging the genre of the text that we're dealing with really can help us in coming to understand the meaning of the text. So yes, there are some parts of the Bible that are quite difficult to understand, and there's good discussion and debate on what the exact meaning might be. But it's definitely not something that there's all these hundreds of interpretations and we just can't know what it means at all. But more particularly and more importantly, what are the core claims? What are the main things? The main thing that Christianity is all about? Well, that would be the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And they were not lost in hundreds of different interpretations, but we know exactly what it means. We know what the significance of Jesus' resurrection is. And it's this, that God in the flesh, seeing us in our state as humans, in our broken state, and in His love for us, came into this world to make a way for us to know Him and be reunited to Him and have new life in Him. So Jesus isn't up for interpretation. What He asks for is a response. And so that, for me today, would be the invitation to you, or the challenge. What are you going to do with this Jesus?